Hello and welcome to Gone Traveling, the road to greatness in the BKT EuroCup. We are looking at round four, and we, meaning myself, David Hein, and Sergio Llebres. Sergio, how you doing over there in Spain, in Valencia? You had another let's say easy victory for Valencia.
Hi, David. Yeah, easy win for Valencia in a special round, 4 days long round, because of some schedule adjustments. And Valencia was the one with Venice to close the round. And yeah, easy win for Valencia, mostly because uh, Venezia doesn't have any any players in the perimeter that are available. They have five injured people, and they're waiting for Rodney McGruder to be in the team. So yeah, it was a, a comfort game for Valencia, and that's it. Let's take a look about this round.
Yeah, and then there were two. Uh, you know, there was two teams that suffered their first losses, those being Gran Canaria and Ulm. The final two undefeated teams are the aforementioned Valencia, and then you have Bourg-en-Bresse, the finalists from last year. They are both atop Group B, and I kind of wish that they stay undefeated when the matchup on November 28th, when they're
Yeah.
going to meet up in France. That's after the FIBA window. So some of those guys will go play national team, but some of those guys will, they'll be relaxed, rested up a little bit, and then to go into that, big battle, that'd be fun. After three home win victors last round, we had seven teams win at home this week, and so the two undefeated teams are in Group B, and then there's a four-way tie atop Group A: Bahcesehir, Tel Aviv, Gran Canaria, and Ulm. And then we only have three winless teams: Cluj and Wolves. Both won blowouts on the road. So for those new to the show, what we'd like to do is we kind of pick a game and talk about the game, and then move on to player to watch that we kind of want to talk about, and then sort of our surprise of the game day before we look at the next round. So, Sergio, what is the game you want to look at?
Yeah, I wanted to say first that we went from five undefeated teams and five winless teams to just two and three. So that's curious. And I wanted to talk about the Juventud Wolves game. Juventud was truly a disappointment. 23-point defeat disadvantage against a team like Wolves that didn't have any win until this round, this fourth round. And Juventud, they have a low start this season since they won against Murcia in the ACB League on the 28th of September. They lost like four four out of five games between ACB League and EuroCup now, and only Trefl was the only win they had. They lost against Ulm, Valencia, Zaragoza, and then Wolves. You can say that
And
Ulm,
even that, and
Valencia,
even that truffle game was a fight.
yeah, you can say that Ulm, Valencia, and Zaragoza are like well constructed teams, and you can lose, but this game against Wolves is like the point where you have to be careful and make some changes. Wolves secured their first EuroCup win of the season, defeating Juventud on the road, and it was the 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 inflection point was when Anthony Cowan in the third quarter made two straight threes and changed the rhythm of the game. And he ended up with 26 points and completely dismantling the Spanish team.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it. Yeah, there must be something going on right now there
Mhm.
in Badalona. There's the
Yeah.
the coaching change, uh and maybe that's
Yeah,
they haven't bought
but
into his system yet, or But I mean, it's still super early, but
Yeah.
you don't want to be losing games like that. Uh, especially at home, especially to a team that was winless.
I think Dani Miret is a home boy from La Peña, from Badalona. He's from that town, and I think he's the ideal guy to be coaching this team. But some things have to adjust. Uh, Maybe Cassis Robertson was like the main guy to score from the perimeter, and he's not giving that much as expected since he stayed in Valencia and happened the same. So I think they need more time because they have to rely in a 37-year-old Ante Tomic, in a 18-year-old Michael Rusic, and in a Pusto boy that doesn't have the tools to lead the team in scoring. There's Yannick Crack that he's the most positive new here in Badalona, but I don't think they have like those two main guys and regular guys that can contribute in the offensive end.
All over
As
the
for now.
years, over the last couple of years, I've always said, one of the things that they kind of been lacking is sort of the go-to guard that
Yeah,
is going to score when it's needed.
exactly.
At times it's looked like Devon Dotson has been kind of that guy that can maybe fill that
Mm.
role. But you look at the two games that they lost against Ulm and against Wolves, he had 4 and 5 turnovers.
Yeah,
He was 2 of 11 from the field against Wolves. So I mean, maybe right now is if you I don't know, to be honest, what the ACB games have been like, but it kind of looks like in the EuroLeague and the EuroCup, it's like if you slow him down,
yeah.
that's a lot of those guys, um, they need to be set up.
Well, if you focus your defense on Devon Dotson and you make him like be uncomfortable playing and leading the offense, he's this combo guard type of player that can lose balls because he is a prolific scorer. He can generate points by himself, but he suffers a little bit generating for others. And if you focused on defending him, you can get a lot of it and mostly win the game as you can see, because Devon Dodson is like the half of the offense from Badalona right now.
By the way, and this is my last thing on this game on
Hmm.
Joventut. By the way, it threw me for a loop. You watch the highlights and you see the pink jerseys and you're like,
Hmm.
is Mega playing in the Euro Cup?
Yeah,
So it's they're Joventut is actually having their second jerseys, pink. And their more sort of motive is it's sort of initiative. They say pink is more than a color, and also let's break barriers. And also this was kind of this week they're doing to help promote awareness and the fight against breast cancer. So just throwing it out there in case you're looking at the highlights and wondering about the pink. There's a little bit of info.
I, I
Um,
I saw them live 2 weeks ago, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think not everybody necessarily, but the mega, the yellow and pink and yellow
Yeah,
is
iconic.
a fun kid as well. I want to talk about the undefeated the showdown of undefeated teams, and that's Bourg against Turk Telekom,
Hmm.
and it was a tight fight really throughout the entire game. And I was doing an interview with an American player, and he said um, that sort of the key is to get kills, and kills are 3 stops in a row. And basically, he said statistically in college, if you get 7 kills in a day, so 3 stops in a row 7 times in a game, you'll win. He said something like 95% of the time. And the game was tight with about 3 minutes left, and then they got 3 kills, and that killed the game. And one thing that I noted is that, Turk Telekom really had to rely on their youngster Melitunca after Olivier Hanlon fouled out. He played just 19 minutes. And it was a 6 point game with 66 seconds. And this sort of goes to show some of that inexperience. Down six with 66 seconds left in the game. After a timeout, Tunca could not inbound the ball. And so that was the third stop of that kill. And one on the other side so what I was impressed with was Borg's ability to close the game defensively. It was a 67-63 game. It wasn't high scoring. It wasn't, a lot of attractive actions and plays and highlights and anything like that. But they won it defensively. And I wanted to also give a shout out to Mehdi Goma. He didn't play until 3 minutes left in the third quarter and had a huge role in that third and fourth quarter. 6 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 13 PIR in just 11 minutes. Noma came over from Paris, obviously helped them win EuroCup last season. And it's probably a signing that kind of went under the radar. But, that weapon, especially defensively and then also offensively, a guy who can really, drive to the basket and then really, stick out like glue to guys on the defense on the outside is a nice weapon for Borg.
Yeah, Bourg had 25% 3-point efficiencies, and it wasn't like a beautiful game for neither of two teams, but it was a fought one, and this type of details you said are like is like the essence of basketball, and maintaining like for the 8-7 last minutes these 4-3-5 points of advantage says a lot of Bourg, because we saw them like being prolific in offense with some players that are very talented, but this type of team efforts are key to win things, to win championships, and they are like showing that are one of the contenders in this type of things,
To win the ugly games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things basketball demands, to win
Yep.
beautiful and ugly games, and this was
Exactly.
one of the
And
ugliest.
it was like I said, a battle of undefeated teams. Turk Telekom had also been
Exactly.
3-0, and Borg, the finalists from last year, prevailed. So let's move to our players. I'll start with my guy, and I'm gonna go to Llebres's near comeback. They were trailing by 23 in the first half, and it was still a 15-point deficit with under 4 minutes to go, and they made it close late. They got to within 3 points. Ended up losing. Losing two. Hang on one second. I'm blanking. Cedevita.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about Marko Pecarski, 24-year-old Serbian. This is a guy who he had 12 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 2 of 3 on the 3-point range, 11 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, PIR of 20, averaging 10, almost 11 points, more than 7 rebounds, 3.2 offensive rebounds, tied for 4th, and 1.2 turnovers per game. And the reason I wanted to talk about him is because this is actually his first season in the EuroCup as a prominent player, and this is his first season as a foreigner in a European competition. He last year really had a breakout year with Denizli in Turkey, averaged 11 points, 5.5 rebounds, but he averaged 41% 3-point shooting, had 2.4 offensive rebounds a game, and he had 12 turnovers for the season. As in 12 turnovers for the season in 609 minutes. He had 0.5 turnovers. And that's his game. That's his game. Last season, he struggled a little. The season before, he struggled a little bit on threes in Montenegro, but had 1.2 turnovers a game. The 21-22 season, 38% and 45% in two different competitions and 0.7 turnovers. And then back in 2021 with FMP, 45% three pointers and 0.5 turnovers. So he's a big that gets offensive rebounds, can shoot the three, and does not turn over the ball. And so he's still only 24. And this is a guy that won back-to-back U18 European championships. And so this is his first season. There'll be a feature coming up on him this week on the website that I wrote. I interviewed him, and I followed him basically his entire career, even from when he was like 14 years old playing for ANGT with Shemun. And I'm really happy that he's really finding his game, and I just was really impressed. I've been really impressed with him. Lietkabelis, of course, 0-4, but it's a team that is really just a fighting club, and he fits into that club and that mentality.
He's kind of a executor, you know. He doesn't generate, but he finishes plays, and he had like 4 games scoring double digits for Lietkabelis, and he didn't fall from the 50% of efficiency from 2 points. So he's a name to consider, as you say, and looking forward to that piece next week.
Who's your guy?
My guy, I would say I gotta go with another young talent from the EuroCup, Sergio de Larrea. The Spanish,
Sergio.
yeah,
Sergio going with Sergio.
yeah, and I spoke to him yesterday before later in the game against Venezia, and he was recovering from a muscular injury, and he wasn't that uh, good in the ACB league when he returned to the competition. But now Pedro Martinez put him as a starter with the absences of Chris Johnson and Stefan Jovic. Stefan Jovic had personal issues and couldn't be in the game. And the start could not have been better, scoring 7 out of the first 9 points for the Taronja side and setting the tone of the game, really. And he was one of the key players to get to this 105 points nearly record that was set it in 108. And yeah, the Larrea finished with the game with 11 points without missing any shot and contributing with this in all areas of the game, like everyone else, really. But he wasn't. But he was a lot a part of the team, you know, and directing the game. He was like the only pure point guard that was on the team, and that helped a lot. And without doubt, this is one of the young Spaniards to keep in mind for the 2025-2026 draft class. And he spoke about the game and said that he needed to get a feel for it. He wasn't comfort. He wasn't very good against Rio Breogán in the ACB League when he returned, but he said like Pedro Martinez is trusting in him, giving him opportunities, and it's a matter of work to get these minutes. And I think that Area is the main guy in the Spanish youth. So it's a pleasure to have it around me. Yeah.
Yes, so Sergio De La Ria is a 2005 born for those
Yeah.
who might not be aware, and really
Yeah, but a lot of
really
Spaniards.
one of the top young talents.
Yeah.
He's a big playmaker, can't handle the ball. Is a really fun guy. I mean, I'm kind of jealous that about Sergio that he actually
Yeah.
gets to see him on a regular basis because he was so much fun at the youth level, and it's really going to be interesting to see how he kind of makes that jump at the senior level. And yeah, the guy that
He's so mature also.
and he's
So
what?
mature. Yeah.
Yeah, mature. He is. Yeah. And it's great to see that, and also, props to props to coach to giving him the call. I mean that's okay. He might need it because he's running out of guys, but
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So well, let's the other segment that we have, of course, is sort of the surprise, and I'll let you start.
Okay, I gotta go with Tayo Odiase. Maybe it's not that surprising because he's an established player in these levels, but in a team that has plenty of players from the EuroLeague level, as Bahcesehir, who has a lot of prolific scorers like Butel, Ponitka, and more. I gotta go with Tayo Diaz's performance. Off the bench in only 19 minutes, he had 24 points with 9 out of 14 in field goals and 7 rebounds, 4 drawn fouls for 29 PIR. And there hasn't been any talk yet about Bahcesehir having half of EuroLeague roster at least, and Trento was like thrashed by 40, and mostly was because of Odiase's performance. He was dominant in the paint, and maybe he hadn't a good game against Gran Canaria in the latest round, but the game wasn't very beautiful to see because it was very um, low scoring and things like that. But now Odiase is like averaging double digits, having good minutes, and he's a physical beast. Around alongside Ponitka, Butel, Kavanagh, Simonovic, they they make a brutal starting five, and Tayo Odiase coming off the bench. So I gotta go with him. 3-1 in EuroCup, and it's a team to consider and also a player. And I liked a lot that performance.
Yeah. He's averaging 3.5 offensive rebounds a game,
Yeah.
and the fact that that's a EuroLeague team, he doesn't have to produce every night. There's other guys that can do
Yeah.
it, and they could just kind of, it'll be, one game it'll be Ponitka, next game it'll
Mhm.
be, Bute, next one, it'll be Simonovic, Kavanaugh, it's Massenberg, Jillian Smith, they're these this is a loaded roster, and so yeah, he was definitely impressive. I think they finished with 17 offensive rebounds for the game, and he was just a beast down low.
Yeah, and he's averaging 14 points a game, and with very efficient shots, 22 out of 39 in field goals, and also he's reliable in the free throw line. He has 13 uh, out of 16, so he has good numbers and he's efficient in everything he does. It's not that much, but when he focuses on rebounding and making his figure big in the paint, that's all he needs.
Yep. So my kind of surprise, whatever. I guess I want to give some love to the losers again. Talked about Pisarski with Cabela's, and now I'm gonna talk about Ulm, who really kind of had their doors blown off, especially that first quarter. It was a 31-9 first quarter at Besiktas. I talked a couple of weeks ago about Justini and Jessup, and of course, there's a lot of attention about Ben Seraf, but and you knew there was a but coming. Noa Essengue, you might look past the 33-point blowout, but he had 19 points, 5 of 7 shots, 9 of 12 free throws, 9 of 12 free throws, 5 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 7 fouls drawn, and a 20 PIR in 24 minutes. He's 10th in the league in PIR, 17.5, shooting 67% on twos, 40% on threes, 1.5, 1.2 offensive rebounds, and he's drawing 5.2 fouls per game. We talked last week. We gave all the love to Jared Harper about drawing all the fouls. He's drawing 5.2 per game. Ulm had they're in this in the midst of this just absolutely brutal road trip. And they played this game, and then they flew basically directly to Portland, south to the northwest of the United States, and played the Portland Trailblazers in an NBA exhibition on Monday night. And he had 20 points, 6 of 14 field goals, 3 of 6 on threes, 5 of 6 threes, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, three turnovers in 34 minutes. So this is NBA 48 minutes. And he's growing more and more in confidence, especially on offense. And I'm writing about him him and Ben Saraf every game for
Mhm.
my website. And you can see that he is really starting to have sort of that belief in himself, that confidence, that in order to take advantage of the offensive tools that he has defensively, because he's kind of a low post 3-4-4-3 guy,
Mhm.
he's getting pushed around. He's not going to
Yeah.
turn 18 until December. And you see that he can't box guys out, even like the 20-year-old Kemen Konan, who's, he's not a giant with Besiktas, but he's got 2 years on him, and he's got, however many, kilos. But once he gets some weight, and man, that could be really crazy. And I think depending on how much he's able to maybe get stronger over the next couple of months, uh, we could see like a serious beast here
Yeah.
in the final third of the season. I mean, you go back and watch the final of the ANGT Dubai last season, and he was just unbelievable. And if he can start doing some of the things he did there at the pro level, with the youth guys, it's always this switch over from youth to the pros. And we played with the pros last year quite a bit. This is his second season in Ulm. But yeah, I mean, if he could do some of those things, sure. He needs to get locked in a gym and shoot and
Yeah.
shoot and shoot, because the 3 pointers, and that's another thing, the 3 or 6 on threes, you have to be happy about that. So yeah, Noah saying, he's number 10 in the league, in the entire league in PIR.
70 PIR in total in 4 games. The fact that he's completely integrated in the league and in the EuroCup is crazy for a 17-year-old. As the Larrea both are will be 18 in December, and there's loads and of talent in the EuroCup, and as you said, he's always near the basket.
No, no, De La Rey will be 19 in
19,
December.
sorry. Yeah, they
Yeah,
have the birthday on
in
December. Sorry.
December. Yeah, yeah, but he'll be
Exactly.
19.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be
I'm with
19.
Ilaria having
That's
17.
okay. That's okay. That's okay. No worries. No worries. No worries. I didn't. But yeah,
Yeah,
just the fact that they're. But this is so like I said, he played pretty much the entire year last year
yeah,
with
yeah.
the Pro B team. Noah is saying he played the entire year last year in the third division, totally dominated and had some minutes. He also played EuroCup a little bit last season as well.
A guy that is his size and his weight, having being around the rim and having 66% in 2 point field goals is crazy for a freaking 18-year-old, mostly 18-year-old, and having this improvement in the three from the 3 point line would be crazy. He doesn't shoot any threes really. He had 2 out of 5 in this season in EuroCup, but I think this is a matter of roles. He now has to be helping the team near the rim. Ulm has another players that can do that better, to have the perimeter play better. But I think he has the tools, as you said, to improve in that segment of the game. So he's one of the names, or mostly top two, top three young talents in the EuroCup right now.
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And in the NBA game and against Portland, he played against Ryan Robert too. It was a French
Mhm.
kid.
Yeah.
2004 born maybe. So yeah, it was definitely a pretty cool moment for him. All right. Let's look ahead because we're running out of time. We want to get you guys out of here, and let's look ahead to round 5. Some good games, and I'll let you start. Maybe pick the game you're looking forward to most.
Yeah.
I kind of have an idea what you're going to watch,
Yeah.
what you're looking for, but
There are some
whatever you
games.
want.
There are some games that I'm looking forward, but I don't want to be heavy with Valencia, but Turk Telekom against Valencia is a special one here. This is a great matchup between two of the Group B contenders in the BKT EuroCup. The contrast in scoring between the two teams is striking, so there is a difference of 28.3 points on average in scored points between Turk Telekom and Valencia. And the same goes for points conceded. While Turk Telekom concedes only 66.3 per game, Valencia Basket advocates more of a fast game in which it concedes more points with an average of 80.3. That's a lot of contrast. And I'm curious about what are they going to propose and how's going to finish this game. And that's an interesting mix of styles with some crossovers of former teammates such as Kyle Alexander at Turk Telekom and ex of Valencia Basket, and the opposite case with Nate Sestina. And this is a good group with Arthur Cam. They are 3-1 if I'm not wrong, and Valencia is undefeated with 4-0 right now. So this is going to be a very good clash.
Valencia scored 105 points in the last 3 games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the other one is Gran Canaria, Ulm. Both of them are sort of in that grouping atop Group A with 3-1 records. Gran Canaria has only scored 66 points in the last 2 games against Bahcesehir and Tel Aviv. And Ulm, this will be the last game of that road trip, So they, I
They're
said,
wishing to end this.
Yeah, and so from Portland, and then you go as far north as pretty much as far north as they're going to go, and they play in Oldenburg, and then they have to go all the way basically down to the coast of Africa in Gran Canaria. And so if I'm Gran Canaria, I'm gonna try to punch them in the mouth as hard as I can to start the game because these guys might be tired. They looks like they lost Roby. Ulm did. I saw the game, the NBA exhibition game, and his arm was in a sling. So that doesn't look good. I didn't look and see what happened to him. And I don't think Yalo is going to be coming back right away. So they're kind of losing guys too. And so this is going to be a important game, and then Ulm will be coming back home after that. So 2 other games that I just wanted to throw out there are Besiktas and Joventut, both teams at 2-2. We mentioned kind of Joventut's worries, and I was actually kind of worried a little bit about Besiktas. I was really high on them coming into the season. And okay, they blew out Ulm, but whatever. And the other one is Jerusalem against Cluj. Jerusalem have won 3 in a row, are 3-1, and Cluj won their first game for a 1-3. And this will be a big game for Cluj. If they can grab that one on the road, that'll help them. That could help them later in the standings. Anything else?
Have a good weekend and see you guys in the round 5.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Again, we'll be back on Thursday next week. We had to go to Friday this week, obviously, because of the Thursday game for Valencia. So Sergio is available on Twitter at Llebres 11, and I'm at Hein News, HEINNEWS, Llebres with 2 L's.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. The road to greatness, 4 rounds down. Next one will be round 5, and we can't wait to watch it. Enjoy, and we'll catch you next